Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you after, how do you describe it? Dramatic, thrilling, topsy-turvy London derby at the Emirates Stadium. I'm still not sure those words sum it up, really. Just an absolutely bonkers day against West Ham. Arsenal absolutely atrocious for half an hour, 3-0 down, and yet they fought back, played really well after that and got a 3-3 draw, and in the end were probably counted themselves pretty unfortunate not to have won the game. They could have lost it, obviously. Mikel Antonio hitting the post as well. That was at 3-2 before Odegaard and Lacazette had made it 3-3. But Arsenal certainly the better side in that last hour, and they had plenty of chances to go on and win that game. But I don't think when you find yourself 3-0 down after 32 minutes, you can complain too much if you come back and still earn yourself a point. Just a crazy match of football. I don't need to describe it because you'd have seen it yourselves, but Arsenal was so bad for the first half an hour. I don't know what was going on with that. It was like a throwback to October, November. In fact, it was almost worse than October and November. It was just so poor. They just didn't turn up. There was no urgency. No one was switched on. They didn't try and get at West Ham at all. I think the stat after 10 minutes, they hadn't completed a pass in the opposition after 10 minutes. West Ham had completed about 30. And that kind of summed it up. It was still 0-0 at that point. And then they conceded a goal. Jesse Lingard, as usual, scores against Arsenal. Brilliant goal from Lingard to make it 1-0. And then Arsenal absolutely lost their heads. I mean, the second and third goals were so bad to concede. The second one from the quick free kick, no one switched on, no one looking at the ball, just allowed Jared Bowen to go in and make it 2-0. Really poor from Leno. The shot squeezed in at the near post. Really disappointing from Leno. He'll be very disappointed with that. So that was 2-0. And the third one, again, all came from Arsenal giving the ball away as Kieran Tierney gave the ball away. West Ham allowed to cross the ball in. Antonio heads it. Souček gets his foot on it, deflects it into the top corner to make it 3. And when you're looking at that point, Arsenal was staring at utter embarrassment, 3-0 down after 32 minutes. It looked like it was going to get miles worse as well because of the way they were playing, because of the way West Ham were playing. You know, you thought it could end up being 5-6, 7-0 defeat here that Arsenal was staring at. But you've got to give them credit for as bad as they were for that first half an hour. They were excellent after that, and you've got to give them credit for somehow finding the way back to crawl and drag themselves back off the floor and get themselves back into the game. They made it 3-1 before half-time. Lacazette with his shot, it was really good from Lacazette. Unfortunately, it's going to go down as an own goal because the shot was actually going wide, deflected in off Souček, so it went down as an own goal. But it's great from Lacazette, the way he pulled down Chambers' pass and turned and spun and fired the shot in towards goal. So that made it 3-1. They had a chance to make it 3-2 before half-time when Saka went through, didn't take it, and you thought, that's going to be really, really key, that miss. Because if they'd gone in at half-time at 3-2, you know, you had felt that anything could have happened. You felt 3-1 was still going to be too big a bridge for them to climb, but to be fair to them, they flew out the blocks in the second half, played really well. Eventually got themselves back level. Another own goal. Again, it came from Callum Chambers coming down the right, fizzed in across. You'd think Aubameyang would have turned it in at the back post anyway. Dawson knew he had to do something, and he just got in the way and deflected it in off his knee. Not much he could really do because he knew Aubameyang was there, and he had to try and do something. It was a really excellent whipped-in delivery from Chambers with a lot of pace on it. And suddenly it was 3-2. Arsenal back in it, and you kind of felt then they would go on and get something from the game, and they finally got the equaliser about 9 minutes from time. Nicolas Pepe had just come on, absolutely brilliant ball in from Pepe from the right, whipped it in with his right foot. Lacazette, who was great all day, I thought, Lacazette, with the header at the back post, and made it 3-3, and there was still about 7 minutes to go at that point, and you know, Arsenal well on top. They had a couple of chances, both fell to Pepe. One he put straight at the keeper. Actually, both of them he put straight at the keeper. Felt he was tugged a little bit for the second one by the defender. Referee not giving a penalty for that. I'm not sure if it was a penalty, to be honest. I don't think it was. I think Arsenal had been very fortunate had they got a penalty for that. And in the end, they had to settle for 3-3, and it was just a mad game. I'm sure you all watched it wherever you are around the world. Mikel Arteta speaking afterwards, saying that the first half hour was really disappointing. We weren't at the races. The second and third goal was completely unacceptable. We showed a face that we still have. That is that face. And then after 60 minutes, we probably played the best we've played in very tough conditions against a very good team. He said we did a complete opposite that we did at the start. We reunited, started to do what we had to do better, and it's a shame because looking at the chances, we could have scored 6 or 7. He was asked then, you talk about two faces there. If you've got two different Arsenal teams, one who's very good and one who's very bad, and he said yes. and this is my responsibility. Because he said before we couldn't play at this level, now we can. So we cannot go from there to there. We have to be there all the time. Sorry, I'm having to do the hand signals because it wouldn't make much sense afterwards, just reading it without it. But he said, we have to be there all the time, and that is where we are heading, and we've got to stop giving the opponents anything. Even the shot when they hit the post at 3-2, that came from our throw-in when we gave them the ball, and that's too simple. The rest, I'm incredibly proud of the team and the way we played, the courage we showed, how much belief we had that we'd go on and win the game. I sense that at half-time, and that shows me how far we have come together. So I can understand he's feeling very happy with the way his players responded, but he will know that first half hour, and he does know that first half hour was not good enough. And to be fair, not just the players, you have to shoulder some responsibility. I think Mikel has to as well, because I think he got his team selection wrong. I didn't understand Aubameyang starting out wide. I thought we'd sort of finished with that. I can understand Lacazette coming in, but then don't play Lacazette. Then don't play Aubameyang. Play Pepe or play Martinelli. Don't move Aubameyang out wide, and certainly don't move him out to the right-hand side, like is where he started the game. I mean, Mikel made a change after 20 minutes, after 2-0 down, and switched him over again, moving Saka to the right and Aubameyang to the left, so he knew he'd made a mistake with that one. I didn't understand that, and I think he certainly paid the price for that, Arteta. And Aubameyang was very lucky that he stayed on until 80 minutes, because he would pour throughout. Just didn't really affect the game at all. And I thought at half time he should have been replaced, but kept him on, then eventually replaced him after 10 minutes. 10 minutes to go in the second half with Martinelli, and he was still walking around the pitch when Lacazette scored the equaliser. Actually, Aubameyang, he managed to join in with the celebrations. Right, I'm going to get into my player ratings, but quickly just want to, before I do that, talk about Martin Odegaard, who was fantastic. He's going to be my man of the match in player ratings. Mikel saying about him, I think he had an incredible performance. I think he was very intelligent, the way he read the game, the way he affected the game. He showed how much he wants to win. When everyone was a little bit trembling, he gave us that stability, that composure on the ball. He created chance after chance. The way he steps on the pitch and always wants the ball, the way he commands the pressing, he's been really influential. I think we've all been surprised because he looks really shy and humble, but when he steps on that pitch, he's a real character and he loves to play football. So nice words from Mikel Arteta for Martin Odegaard there, who I thought once again was excellent for Arsenal and is proving to be an absolutely fantastic January signing. Okay, shall we talk about player ratings then? Going to be a bit of a mixture, I would say, here for Arsenal. Bernd Leno, I thought was poor throughout. He should have saved the second one. Just looked really nervy throughout. Just a shaky game. A couple of important punches late on from Leno, which will do him the world of good. But other than that, it was a shaky game from Bernd Leno. I'm going to give him a 4. Callum Chambers, excellent over on the right-hand side, playing at right back, really stepped up, and when Arsenal needed him, whipped in some fantastic crosses. Obviously, his cross for the first goal, his cross for the second goal. Defensively, not the best, certainly in that first half an hour when everyone struggled, but he made up for that with what he did and the impact he had in the game going forward. So Callum Chambers is going to get a 7 from me. Louise and Mari, I thought, were all over the shop. Really strange. I've not seen Mari struggle like that for a long time. Just looked off the pace. He hadn't played for a while. Maybe that was a reason why. Louise, I thought was pretty disappointing as well. Even the first goal, I thought he let West Ham attack down the left rather than trying to make the tackle. He just backed off and let West Ham get in to the final third, and they paid the price when the ball eventually found its way to Lingard. So I'm going to give both Louise and Mari a 5. Tierney, a rare off day, I thought, for Tierney. Not switched on for the second goal from the quick free kick. He gave away the ball in the lead up to the third goal as well. Was a bit of a threat down the left at times, but not the greatest performance from Tierney. I'm going to give him a 6. Partey and Xhaka, I thought, were pretty poor in the midfield, I have to admit. Xhaka was replaced actually in the second half as Arsenal pressed forward. I didn't think they were great. Thomas Partey had the most touches of anyone on the pitch, so he was heavily involved. He had 103 passes and competed in the most duels, which is 12. Made 2 tackles, gained possession 14 times, which is the best of any Arsenal player. I suppose actually looking at those stats, he was more involved than I actually thought, Thomas Partey, because I thought on the whole it was largely disappointing from him, and he couldn't get a foothold in the game. But the stats suggest he was a better player than perhaps I noticed on the day. But I'm going to give Partey a 6. I'm going to give Xhaka a 5. Bukayo Saka should have scored in the first half when he went through. Not one of his brightest games. I think Saka is beginning to look a little bit tired, which is perhaps understandable. I'm going to give Saka a 6. Martin Odegaard, man of the match, thought it was fantastic, just constantly involved all the time. Really good performance from Martin Odegaard. I'm going to give him an 8. He had 3 shots. on goal, 2 of them blocked. He had 4 key passes, most of anyone on the pitch. So Odegaard, man of the match, he gets an 8 from me. Aubameyang, I'm going to give a 3 to. I thought Aubameyang was really poor, not involved at all. Was very lucky to stay on the pitch for 80 minutes. Never looked a threat. Disappointing from him. Although, as I said, I don't understand why he started on the right-hand side. And Alexander Lacazette, I'm going to give an 8 to as well, because I thought Lacazette played really well. Took his goal well. Unlucky not to get the first one, which went down as an own goal, but played really well. And a shout out to Nicolas Pepe, who came on late on in that second half, who I thought made a big impact on the game, and it's his fantastic cross that led to the equaliser for Lacazette. So that's about it from today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've got your breath back after that exhausting match. Typical match to watch as an Arsenal fan. I will pop on tomorrow and go over things in a little bit more detail and have my say on what we witnessed at the London Stadium. But until then, everyone, enjoy your Sunday evening. Try and forget about that first half an hour and just focus on the second hour, shall we? Have a good night, everyone. Speak to you very, very soon.